more than 5 years, partner, that's too long. Hi, Brad Barton from Milestone Home Services. Most experts recommend every 5 years for the average home, and even sooner if you've had major renovations or pets that shed a lot. Anyone in the family with allergies. Here in North Texas, allergy season never ends. Milestone has their red carpet duct cleaning deal right now. It's just $4.99. We had this done. They use a powerful rotor brush system with HEPA filtration to scrub and trap all that nasty buildup. They don't just push it around, they drive it away. And here's the best part. It's not from some random crew. It's done by licensed HVAC technicians from Milestone, so you know it's going to be done right. Pretty good deal for $4.99. Let's get a good spring cleaning, okay? Just go to callmilestone.com and set up your appointment. That's callmilestone.com.
We'll fix it in a flash.
TFW's News, Talk, Traffic, and Weather Station. News Talk 820 WBAP, Fort Worth, Dallas. 93.3 WBAP FM, Haltom City, Dallas, Fort Worth. And KPLX HD2, Fort Worth, Dallas.
Your Texas voice for common sense. Trending now.
No presidential endorsement for Texas Senate candidates. I'm Monty Cook from the WBAP 24-hour Breaking News Center.
ClassicChevrolet.com, WBAP's first traffic and weather.
On the ones.
We've got road work going up on the west side of Fort Worth, westbound I-30 at the West Loop over toward Longview, and traffic is stopped right now as you're trying to move that way from Las Vegas Trail. Not exactly sure when they're going to get things moving again. I'll just take the exit and try to get around this thing. Otherwise, you'll...
What? What? All right. Yo, what's up, guys? About to start the show. You guys can't hear the commercials, but we're about to get going. Nancy's husband did work for the Clintons.
Good morning. You're listening to News Talk 820 and 93.3 FM WBAP with your boy Primetime Alex Stein on this beautiful Wednesday. I mean, I woke up this morning. It's not too cold, but I think we're going to get highs in the upper 70s. So this is my kind of weather. You can kind of put on a sweater and you can wear a couple layers. You're not going to be too hot. You're not going to be too cold. I really think this is the perfect weather. So God bless America and God bless Texas. Well, speaking of Texas, we have a lot of heated debates happening in the Wiley area. Last night, they had a crazy school board meeting where a bunch of parents went up there and spoke against the invasion of Sharia law in their school. They don't like that students are being pressured to eat halal food. They're being pressured to put on burqas. I mean, I couldn't even make this up. It sounds like what I'm saying is fake, especially because it's in the DFW area. But this is how it starts. You know, they do it very incrementally. You know, it starts, one thing. Oh, put on the burqa. Oh, eat the halal food. The next thing you know, they're up praying at 5 a.m. because if they don't, they're going to get a D on their, political correctness class. And that's what we got to stand against. I mean, I don't want all this political correctness in society where I have to let a bunch of foreigners come here and invade DFW because I might seem insensitive. And to be honest, I don't mind a little immigration here. I do think, it's good to have a few spices and flavor. But when you see what's happening, especially in Plano with this new epic city, this is not just some sort of, we're moving here for a better way of life. This is an actual invasion. And I think Charlie Kirk said it best. Immigration without assimilation is an invasion. So people are coming here not to become Americans, but to Sharia law America. They want to turn America into a Sharia city. And I don't think that's cool. I don't think that's good. And there's a lot of parents that agree with me last night at this meeting. I want to play one of the concerned parents talking about how he does not want to let his city get overrun with a political ideology that he disagrees with wholeheartedly. Let's play the clip.
Said she loved it all caps. 1 year to the day later on World Hijab Day Sunday, Monday hits, they're putting our girls in Sharia. They're passing out Sharia pamphlets, hijabs, Qurans, understanding Islam. Understanding Sharia. Sharia treats half of this room like cattle. And these women are not cattle. We were laughed at when we say Sharia, we bring it up. But what was passed down in Wiley East? Understanding Sharia. They're trying to put our daughters, wrap their beauty up and hide it. This is not a Muslim nation. This is a Christian nation.
And I agree with him on that. So the problem with this Sharia law invasion that's happening, it's that it's meant to destroy our Western values. It's meant to muddy what it is to be an American. And I guess you could say that America is a melting pot. I'll give you that. But we want this fondue to be mainly chocolate and not a lot of, I don't want to say the word doo-doo, I guess, is the word that I'm trying to find. Because we want something that's sweet, that's beautiful, that is the land of the free and home of the brave. Not a place where you're forced to put on a burqa around your face and cover your face so that you're not a victim of sexual assault. And you might say, oh, that's part of their tradition. No, they punish their women by hiding their face. Because if they did show skin and they were to get attacked, that would be the woman's fault. Think about how backwards that is. And that's the type of people that want to come here and indoctrinate your kids in the DFW area. I would have thought this would be impossible, especially as a kid that was around during 9/11 and I saw what happened right after that. And I would have thought that America would have kind of stayed the line. But no, we've moved the Overton window when it comes to accepting Islam, when really we kind of need to move it back and we need to be not necessarily racist. I'm not a racist person, but we just need to call out. We've got to call balls and strikes. If we see something that is really affecting the youth of America, the most vulnerable people that live here, and we see them getting brainwashed, indoctrinated into a way of life that does not mix with the West, we got to stand against it. And if you like it so much, you can go and move to Afghanistan. If you really like Sharia that much, then why don't you stay where it's totally accepted instead of coming here and trying to change the entire culture of the DFW Metroplex? And I'm not about that. I'm actually against it. And so if you're listening to this right now and you feel the same way, I want to encourage you guys to call in this morning. The number is 1-800-288-9227. We're going to be taking your calls this morning. So I'm sure I'm not the only one when it comes to seeing the landscape totally change basically overnight. I mean, within the past 10 years, you can say that all of the big tech companies moving here to the Silicon Prairie of DFW has changed the ethnicities of the cultures that are moving in here. But still, even if there is a mass migration to the DFW area, that shouldn't make it so that your kids are being indoctrinated to follow Sharia law at Wiley ISD. It's ridiculous. We got to stand up against it. And I hope that you have the same passion that these parents have, because if we don't and we're just apathetic to it, we're going to see a new world very shortly that we don't even recognize the old one. And that's what they want to happen. They want this to happen. It's called the New World Order. They want this New World Order where we're all one race, we're all under one ruler. And that might sound conspiratorial, but they don't want us to keep our American greatness. They want to dilute it as much as possible. And that's why you have people that are building entire city infrastructures in Plano, Texas. It's called Epic City. This is not a conspiracy. This is being done right underneath our noses. And very few people are actually standing up against it. I'll be one of them. And I'm not a hero. I'm not going to pat myself on the back, but I'm just not going to sit here and get bullied by a culture that does not assimilate very well. As a matter of fact, they're not interested in assimilation. They're interested in indoctrination and changing your mind. They're trying to reverse your position, but they're not doing it by being cunning or being smooth. They're doing it in a very subversive, scary way. And they're taking away the power from the parents that don't want this to happen. And they're using the teachers or they're using the administrators to let this go on. It's a serious problem. I'm totally against it. I'm not necessarily against a Muslim person. You're welcome to come here, but you're not welcome to come here and have a coordinated attack on the youth of America and make them feel like Sharia law is their best option, because this is the land of the free. If a woman wants to walk around in Daisy Dukes and a low cut shirt, God bless her. We need more ladies like that. All these women are, they're a little too modest. I want to go back to the 90s. I miss the days of Pamela Anderson, but we're going to dive into it. And we got some guests coming up. You're listening to News Talk 820 and 93.3 FM WBAP. I don't think so. Oh, Cartahia. I got it. Cartahia. Let's see. All right, you guys are going to get mad. There's going to be a delay. I got to switch to the other thing because we're about to take a call. So we got to switch. I know you guys are going to be annoyed, but. Yo, what's up, guys? What's up? Pimp on a Blimp is live. I could have sworn I thought I heard something. All right. Let's go, guys. Pimp on a Blimp. We're live right now. I see some people hating in the chat. Don't hate. Don't hate. Let's go. We got Kaylee Campbell coming on at 10 a.m. Yeah, Cartagena. But I can't hear you. I can barely hear you. Cartagena. Cartalia. Jessica Cartalia. That's a funny name. Let's go, guys. In the chat, I want you to like it. Hit that like button. I still kind of am fat, Alex. I need to lose some weight. What'd you say? Okay. Cartalia. Jessica Cartalia. She's a News Nation. Cartalia. 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 I'm sorry, guys. We're about to play commercials. If I do this and it's whatever.
On Audible. Kickstart your well-being journey with your first audiobook free when you sign up for a 30-day trial at audible.com/wellbeing.
Brought to you by Men's Edge Medical. Performance issues are often due to medications you take for high blood pressure, diabetes, even ADHD. At Men's Edge Medical, they can help. Get your edge back with Men's Edge Medical. Call 972-996-0900 or go to mensedgemedical.com.
Be listening every Thursday morning at 8:53 for Best Buy Windows and Sidings, SPCA WBAP's Pet of the Week. Help us find a home for a wonderful fur baby that will be your best friend and companion. Thursdays on News Talk 820 and 93.3 FM WBAP. And for more, go to WBAP.com.
Good morning, guys. You're listening to News Talk 820 and 93.3 FM WBAP, and we're talking about the Texas primaries. The early voting has started. We also got a Muslim invasion in the DFW area. But the story that nobody can stop talking about is, of course, Savannah Guthrie and her mother, Nancy Guthrie, who was kidnapped by somebody that the FBI can't find. I think it's actually ridiculous that it's gone on this long with no clues as to who did it. And I feel like it is an inside job, but I'm going to have an expert come on. Next, we have News Nation correspondent Jessica Cartalia to come on and give us her expertise in regards to the Savannah Guthrie case. Now, Jessica, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us on WBAP. So, Jessica, what's going on? I mean, I'm sick and tired of this. I mean, I don't want to sound disrespectful to Savannah, but the fact that the FBI hasn't been able to find this person, it's really kind of blowing my mind.
No, it really is. And, we're starting to take some heat because people are saying we are so focused on this case. What about every other missing child that that disappears or family member, loved ones? Obviously there's the celebrity factor here. People feel like they know Savannah. She's in their homes every morning if they watch NBC. But yeah, we're going on day 18 out here and we're going on very little at this point. Sheriff Nanos spoke with our Brian Enton. He's a investigative correspondent with us at News Nation, and he told him yesterday that he still remains confident and determined, saying that he believes investigators are getting closer to solving this case. I think that's what a sheriff typically would say. Also says he's confident that they will find Nancy Guthrie. He compared the process. I'll just kind of walk through this and stop me along the way. But compare the process of unearthing that video that's right at the front door to peeling back layers of paint to reach older data while keeping the images still intact because Nancy didn't have a subscription to that Nest camera. So investigators had to work with Google to recover overwritten footage. Apparently, there's also additional cameras in the house. Now, what those cameras are, we don't know. It could be a camera on her computer that she uses to talk to her grandkids, or something on her Apple Watch or her iPhone. Again, they're being tight-lipped about all of this. And what's really interesting for all of us here who've been covering this on the ground is the lack of information coming from law enforcement. They've essentially been keeping us in the dark. And when that happens, rumors start to circulate. And we've got so many citizen journalists and YouTubers who are camped out here, along with the TV networks, and they're giving their perspective on things. You've got these keyboard warriors and armchair investigators just kind of spreading ideas and misinformation. So that's been really frustrating up to this point.
Well, to be honest, Jessica, I kind of like the misinformation a little bit. I like it a little. I like it to be sensationalized. But I have to ask you, what is the latest? Is Savannah going to step down from her position on the Today Show? Because I think it's going to be very awkward if she goes back. And I mean, what do you think, and what are you hearing about her job?
We haven't heard anything specifically about that, and I would hate to speculate on something. What I can tell you is I've spoken with a couple of our colleagues, and they just said that the NBC family is really grieving entirely. We wonder, as mothers who are out here covering this, how do you go on from this? We all have mothers. Many of us are mothers. I keep thinking about her children. How are they dealing with the fact that their mother has been out here having to handle this? If I'm one of the Guthrie siblings, I doubt they've had any sleep. These letters that keep coming through, you don't know if they're somebody just trying to extort money from them, but it's really got to be an emotional roller coaster for them at this point. The Nanos came out yesterday out of the blue and said, well, all family members and their spouses have been cleared. We don't have any evidence to support that. So, again, there's just all this stuff, I hate that word, but circulating.
Well, Jessica, one of the most spicy conspiracies that I've heard is that Michael Feldman, Savannah's husband, actually was part of the Clinton administration during the 90s and also worked for a company called, I think, Gloverfield Park. And what that company did was it was a public affairs consultant. So you would hire him to go kind of delete all your dirt off the internet. And he worked for the Clintons. So, I'm not saying the Clintons are involved, but isn't that kind of a small world with the Epstein releases and the fact that he worked for the Clintons and then their mom gets, his mother-in-law gets kidnapped? I mean, it's just kind of weird that all these dots are one degree of separation from each other.
Yeah, and we've heard the Epstein theories, of course, as well, and Virginia Giuffre.
Savannah was the only person to interview of Virginia, which that was kind of interesting, to say the least.
Yeah, absolutely. The only thing working against that is that the guy who's at the front door, according to law enforcement, seems very inexperienced.
That's true.
So whether he was hired by somebody, he's not a savvy criminal. However, I say that, but we're looking at the third week of this investigation. So maybe there's more that we don't know. And us chasing after a glove that was discarded in the middle of the desert is, that's a stretch in itself, that there's a lone black glove. I mean, everyone who works in food service or at a hair salon wears a black glove, right? So you're talking about a black glove was our key piece of evidence here that was out in the middle of, the side of the road in the middle of the desert Southwest for 12 days before they picked it up, and it's been raining, and then it's, incredibly hot. I mean, how the weather can get here. It's just crazy. But that said, the one thing that we are hoping is, and we just heard law enforcement officials say this, that usually in an investigation like this, we're getting about 10% of the information that the FBI actually have. And in this case, I really hope that that's the case, that they know a lot more than they're letting on or that they're releasing. And, Nano says that they've collected DNA, fingerprints, weapons, computers, phones. He says they have 400 investigators, 11 different agencies. They're all working around the clock, but they still won't say anything about a motive. They also won't say, he said it's not a burglary, but they're not saying that the crime was random or, Savannah's mother was specifically targeted. The most difficult part, in my opinion, as a correspondent out here, is that there has been no proof of life. So, you're talking about, they got that first letter and they said, we have her, pay this money. If you don't pay it by Friday, the amount increases on Monday. And then that deadline came and went, and no sign of saying she's alive or she's doing okay, nothing. So if I'm the Guthrie kids, I'm thinking that's not looking good at this point.
Yeah, I hate to agree with you, but I think that is the sentiment that everybody's feeling, that things are not looking good. Well, Jessica, before you go, how can people find you and support you?
Oh, thanks so much. So it's Jess Cartalia, Kartalija, and I'm at News Nation. I'm a national correspondent here based out of New York.
Everybody go follow Jessica. And I say that Cartalia. Did I say that Cartalia? What did I say? Cartalia? Cartalia.
Yeah,
sorry about that, Jess.
That's what everyone in Texas and SoCal and
that's what I thought. I thought, maybe, you were Latina, so I wanted to try to pronounce it right. Well, thank you so much, Jessica.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Have a good one. All right, folks, coming up next, we're going to get to your calls. We're also going to play a famous clip of Charlie Kirk talking about how Islam is not compatible with the West. You don't want to miss it. You're listening to News Talk 820 and 93.3 FM WBAP.
Hey, I'm Brad Barton. Let me be straight with you. Nobody ever thinks about their garage door until it starts squeaking, sticking, or just flat out quits. And when that happens, it's always at the worst possible time. Noisy doors, cracked bottom rubbers, weather stripping, letting in bugs and bad weather, tracks out of alignment, sensors going bad, frayed cables, worn out wheels. It all adds up fast. That's why I trust Wellborn Garage. They've been serving DFW since 1997 with local 5-star technicians who know your neighborhood and fix it right the first time. Whether it's repairs, maintenance, or a full installation, they handle every part of your garage door with top quality products and unmatched expertise. And here's big news for the WBAP family. Wellborn is waiving their service fee with completed work through the end of this month. That's real savings and a great reason to finally get this off your to-do list. Call Wellborn Garage today. Mention WBAP and lock in your appointment while there's still time. Scheduling is easy at callwellborngarage.com.
Open the door to quality and more. Wellborn Garage Doors.
Hi, my name is Jim, and I have low C. There, I said it. I started losing energy and becoming moody. Next, it was my marriage. With my low C, I just couldn't turn up the heat in the bedroom anymore. You see, low C is low comfort, and it's caused by worn-out heating and air conditioning systems. That's when a friend told me about the comfort maintenance program from Reliant Air Conditioning. I had an honest conversation with my service tech, and it turns out all I needed was a Freon supplement and new filters. Now, my C level is back to normal.
In a clinical study, Reliant Air Conditioning restored C levels back to normal in under 2 hours. Discontinue your low C treatment if your home is so comfortable that in-laws demonstrate tendencies to stay on a permanent basis. Common side effects include extreme comfort, reduced energy loss, and a very satisfied wife. To get your comfort level checked, call Reliant Air Conditioning at 877-YOUR-HERO. That's 877-YOUR-HERO. Or go to ReliantAirConditioning.com. Get your comfort checked and turn the heat back
up.
The
Texas Comptroller is the chief financial officer of the 8th largest economy in the world. Governor Abbott knows Kelly Hancock will keep the Texas economy booming. As acting comptroller, Kelly Hancock protected your tax dollars and worked with Governor Abbott to fund President Trump's border wall. That's why Governor Abbott trusts Kelly Hancock.
This is Governor Greg Abbott. Results matter. That's why I endorse Kelly Hancock for Texas Comptroller. There is no one I trust more. Vote Kelly Hancock. Political ad paid for by Texans for Greg Abbott.
For Texas Agriculture Commissioner, do you want an experienced agriculture businessman? Then vote Nate Sheets. Someone trusted and endorsed by the Texas Farm Bureau? Vote Nate Sheets. Someone who will restore integrity to the office? Vote Nate Sheets.
This is Governor Greg Abbott. I'm proud to endorse Nate Sheets for Agriculture Commissioner. He's committed to fighting for Texas agriculture and restoring integrity to the Texas Agriculture Commission. Vote Nate Sheets for Agriculture Commissioner. Political ad paid for by Texans for Greg Abbott.
Fox 4 brings you more local news every day. That's it.
Hello, everybody. I'm Heather Hayes. And I'm Steve Eager. It's 9 o'clock.
More local news.
I'm Brandon Todd. I'm Lauren Frisco.
More local weather.
We do have a couple of warnings in effect.
More local everything.
Thanks for waking up with us.
Starting at 4 a.m. all the way through late night.
Good evening. I'm Clarice Tinsley.
24/7 online at fox4news.com and on the Fox local app.
Thanks for joining us on Fox 4 at 4.
More local news. Fox 4.
something big is rolling into town. The Dallas RV Super Sale is coming February 19th through the 22nd at Dallas Market Hall. The top RV dealers in Texas, United RV, Vaught RV, National Indoor RV, Holiday World, Blue Compass, and McLean's RV are bringing hundreds of RVs all under one roof. Shop an incredible selection of travel trailers, fifth wheels, motorhomes, and more, all with show season savings you won't find anywhere else. Doors open Thursday from 10 to 6, Friday and Saturday from 10 to 8, and Sunday from 10 to 6. Tickets are just $20 for adults, $10 for kids 6 to 12, and children 5 and under get in free. Plus, seniors 65 and up save on admission Thursday and Friday for just $15. It's the biggest RV shopping event of the year with unbeatable deals, huge selection, and something for every adventure. Don't miss the Dallas RV Super Sale, February 19th through the 22nd at Dallas Market Hall.
DFW's News, Talk, Traffic, and Weather Station.
Your Texas voice for common sense.
News Talk 820, WBAP.
And now, new on FM at 93.3, trending now.
Ukrainian peace talks wrap up. I'm Monty Cook from the WBAP 24-hour Breaking News Center.
ClassicChevrolet.com, WBAP's first traffic and weather.
On the ones. There is some road work on eastbound I-30 across the Lake Ray Hubbard Bridge, Dow Rock to Horizon. The right lane is blocked. A couple-minute delay through there. And a stall in the right lane, 175 westbound as you try to take the exit ramp to 45, so just slow in the area. And 20 westbound at 408, there's road work in the right lane, and that's going to hold you up for 2 or 3 minutes. With WBAP First Traffic and Weather on the ones, I'm Julie Hardy.
Classic Chevrolet in Grapevine, #1 Chevy dealership in the world, 3 years straight. More new Chevrolets to choose from than anyone. All priced to sell at ClassicChevrolet.com. Together, let's drive. Based on new Chevrolet registrations 2023 through 2025.
From the WBAP On-Time Experts 24/7 Weather Center, temperatures remain well above average here today and tomorrow. Cooler air in for Friday and the weekend. Mix of clouds and sunshine today. We're into the upper 70s this afternoon. Low 60s tonight. Mix of clouds and sun, warm near 80 for tomorrow. Cooler Friday, partly to mostly cloudy skies. High temperatures middle to upper part of the 60s and cooling off even more this weekend. Mix of clouds and sunshine Saturday. Low 60s. For WBAP News, I'm meteorologist Ken Boone at the Weather Channel.
It's 60 degrees in Fort Worth, 62 in Dallas. A second round of talks to end the war in Ukraine has finished. Fox's Jonathan Savage has a recap.
The latest three-way discussion involving the United States, Ukraine, and Russia only lasted about 2 hours. It was described as difficult but businesslike by Moscow's chief negotiator. After yesterday's discussions in Geneva, Switzerland, U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff reported meaningful progress was made. Territory remains the main sticking point. The sides have also been looking at prisoner exchanges and how a ceasefire would be monitored. Russian news agency TASS reports more talks will happen soon. Jonathan Savage, Fox News.
The Plano City Council scheduled next week to consider approving a $20 million incentive for AT&T to move its headquarters from its downtown Dallas location to the Collin County city. If approved, the new incentive would bring the total amount of funding for AT&T's future headquarters to $36 million. The new inducement would be made available through Plano's Economic Development Fund for the current fiscal year. Authorities clearing the family of Nancy Guthrie of wrongdoing in her disappearance. Fox's Matt Finn reporting from Tucson, Arizona.
Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos not only ruling out the Guthrie family, but also their spouses. And he told a local news station here that the family was ruled out in the first couple of days. The sheriff posting yesterday, to be clear, the Guthrie family, to include all siblings and spouses, has been cleared as possible suspects in this case. The family has been nothing but cooperative and gracious and are the victims in this case. To suggest otherwise is not only wrong, it is cruel. Now, after the sheriff released that statement, I asked him yesterday if DNA helped ultimately clear the Guthrie family. He responded to me, quote, not going there, which to me meant he wasn't going to reveal exactly how the Guthrie family was cleared.
Your money news powered by McGowan Group Wealth Management. UBS lifted its 2026 forecast for U.S. tech investment grade bond sales today, pointing to rising spending by big tech firms. That, according to Reuters, UBS's global credit team, in a note, raised its investment U.S. grade tech insurance issuance forecast from $300 billion to $360 billion, taking its overall forecast to $1.8 trillion for the year. On Wall Street, the Dow is up 280 points, NASDAQ is up 246, and the S&P 500 has gained 51 points. I'm Monty Cook. Keep connected, DFW, throughout your day on your new home from Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins today from 11 a.m. to 2. News Talk 820 and 93.3 FM, WBAP.
This report is sponsored by Straight Talk Wireless. Every now and then you find a deal that actually feels like a win. With Straight Talk Wireless, you get more and pay less. Now that's a good deal. No contracts, no credit checks, no surprises, all on Verizon's 5G network. Find it in the same place you've always found straightforward prices, exclusively at Walmart and StraightTalk.com.
No longer have a radio at home? No worries. Just say, Alexa or Google Home, play WBAP. You'll get the latest news, traffic, and weather to make your day a little brighter by keeping connected, DFW.
News Talk 820 WBAP.
And now on FM at 93.3.
Thank y'all so much for listening to News Talk 820 and 93.3 FM WBAP. And you know you're with your boy, Primetime Alex Stein, this morning. We got a lot to talk about. And you might think, Alex, you're over-exaggerating when it comes to this Muslim invasion. You're just being a xenophobe. No, I'm not. I'm not being xenophobic. I love my Muslim brothers and sisters. I love chicken shawarma. I love the falafel. I like parts of their culture for sure.
279 acres.
I don't like.
So, like you said, brother, much
that I don't think assimilate well here in the North Texas area.
So we're still debating on the name, but it's going to be
I'm not going to
something
sit here and
Muslim
pretend that everything's just hunky dory when it's not.
They're not
because
just
we have a
building
city.
houses.
It's called the East Plano Islamic Center. When I say city, it's because they're calling itself that. They're calling themselves
which stands
Epic
for
City.
East Plano
And these are
Islamic
two of the
Center,
developers laughing about how they're developing their own city within a city in the DFW area. And now they're just going to follow their own rules. We're going to play a little bit of this.
People need to Google 179 acres. And know, like, what are we making? Like you said, brother, a total Muslim village. So we're still debating on the name, but it's going to be something Muslim name and a village attached to it, right?
Now,
they're not just building houses. They're building a beachhead for Islamic conquest in the heart of Texas. Epic City, which stands for East Plano Islamic Center, is a 279-acre development outside Dallas.
So the streets, Khalid ibn Walid, ibn Ziyad, like all the great conquerors. Like people need to Google those conquerors and know, like, what are we made of? Yeah,
they're just laughing at us. They're going to name their own private streets after conquerors. That's right, Islamic conquerors, because they want to conquer us. This is not a conspiracy. You can listen to the audio where they're laughing about it. They think it's so funny to come here and turn our whole entire area to an Islamic re-education camp. And if your kid is not going to put on the hijab, they might give them a D in their political correctness class or whatever goofball classes these teachers are cooking up this day and age. And there was just a Frisco ISD teacher arrested for invasive recording of students. So listen, I don't trust probably 95% of these teachers. A lot of those teachers, they'll do the exact opposite of what the parents want. That's why in California, they got all kinds of goofball students doing these walkouts because all of the teachers are facilitating that. But luckily, that's not happening in Dallas or at least Texas as much because, you know, Attorney Ken Paxton said he's going to start punishing the schools with Texas state funding if they actually allow these students to just walk out. So what is happening to our school system and our young kids cannot be overstated. As a matter of fact, I don't think there's enough mainstream media coverage of this. And I want to get to some of the calls. Anne from Westlake wants to talk about this Muslim culture. Anne, what do you think about these people just laughing in our faces, talking about how they're going to name their own streets after Muslim conquerors? You there, Anne?
You could do, yes, I'm here. Do you think you could do that in their country?
No way.
I don't think so. No, I know. I lived in Tripoli, Libya, 3.5 years, and Doha, Qatar, and it's Qatar, not Qatar, Qatar, 1.5 years. Qatar was paradise. It was a wonderful place. They treated everybody with respect. Libya, the Western women were treated like you couldn't walk down the street that you weren't sexually molested.
Was that when Muammar Gaddafi was in charge, or who was in charge at the time?
Gaddafi.
You know, and they say, you know, Hillary.
It was right after he took power. Well, we were there from 69 to 72.
And that was and then he put in the Sharia law. Basically, he made it where a woman felt uncomfortable to walk around Libya.
Well, it was never that comfortable, but when we got there, it was a lovely place to live. The casinos were thriving. They had shows from Europe.
Wait, time out. Did you say casinos? So you could gamble there?
Yes. Yes.
That sounds kind of fun. I might go do that. I love to gamble.
Yeah.
Wait. And then
the beach is fabulous. The beaches in Libya are fabulous. The water on that side of the Mediterranean is clear. It's not.
It sounds pretty nice. Well, then why are they all moving over here? Why don't they stay there, Ann? I mean, it doesn't sound too bad if you ask me.
Because they want to change us to live their life. And I'm sorry. That's wrong.
I think so too. I think it's way wrong. I mean, listen, we do have freedom of religion in this country, but what they're trying to do though is very subversive. They're trying to sneak it in, like how you give your dog medicine. You know how you put the pill in a little cheese. That's what they're doing. They're trying to put this Islam in a piece of cheese so these kids swallow it and they don't realize that they just took some bad medicine. So I'm really worried. Are you worried, Ann, about the changing of the Metroplex?
Very much. I don't want it. The one thing I always knew when I was living over there, if it got real bad, I could pack up the kids and the pets and come home.
Well, that's what they think here. They don't care what they do here. As long as it gets bad, they can just go back home. So they get a free roll. I mean, that's why I'm frustrated. If they actually, had some stakes in this, if they were personally invested in this country, then they might think different about it. But because they don't have that connection, they can just go right back to Afghanistan or wherever they came from. So that, I think, just kind of proved my point. That they're coming here and they're using us as if we're just some, throwaway country. And we're not. We're the land of the free, home of the brave.
Well, because of what happened to me over there, it was, like I say, it was just Libya. I've been all through the Middle East. I never had anything. Beirut, no problem.
Well, you're an interesting young lady. So tell me this. You've been to all these places. What do you work for in the military? What do you work in weapons or something? What are you doing in all these Middle Eastern countries? That doesn't seem like a normal place to move.
Engineer.
See, I knew it. So you're probably rich, Ann. Well, if you want to donate to me, I'll give you my personal cell phone. Yeah, all my petroleum engineer buddies from college are all rich. So yeah, I'm sure your husband did really well. And especially if you're living out there, you probably weren't in some sort of shack. You were probably in a very nice house. Am I guessing that correctly?
All the houses in Libya were nice. The villas were nice.
Really? See, I would have thought it would have been kind of like slummy. I mean, what do I know?
No, they were nice. And all the villas are gated. You have walls around them, 5-foot high walls.
Yeah, but they don't want us to have walls here. They don't want us to have border walls. Talk about hypocrisy. Well, Ann, thank you for calling and thank you for listening to WBAP. I hope you continue to listen. Have a good morning. Well, guys, I mean, that's a concerned citizen right here in Arlington, or excuse me, she was in Westlake, but we got the lines lit up. Calls from Arlington. Somebody looks like they're calling from Brazil. Well, that's unique. Maybe we'll get to you guys after the break. But I just want to clarify that I do love my Muslim brothers and sisters. I got no animosity towards the people or their culture. I just don't want to be forced to be indoctrinated in this new Islamic version of America. I'm not cool with that. If you guys want to come here and open up some falafel restaurants, I'll go there. I'll eat some falafel. But don't make my son or daughter put on a hijab to go to class. And that's what they're trying to do. This is much more sinister than you think. When they're naming the streets after conquerors, it pretty much says what their plan is. All right, guys, coming up next, we got more of your calls. Thank you for listening to News Talk 820 and 93.3 FM WBAP.
Here are the results of the meeting in Wiley addressing Islam being promoted in their public schools. That's at 2:05 on The James Show. A different local school got some big donations from Jeffrey Epstein. Find out what's up with that at 3:15. And another mass shooting by a trans. So whatever we're doing, it isn't working. You'll hear this new case at 4:05. That's coming up today, 2 to 5. On The James Show with me, James Parker, on your Texas voice for common sense. News Talk 820 and 93.3 FM, WBAP.
Hey, what if you could sell your home faster and for more money without the stress most other home sellers go through? Well, that's exactly what Dan Harker and Empower Home team of Keller Williams are known for. Hi, I'm Brad Barton. I've known Dan for years. Couldn't ask for more. Broken bread with him. He's an outstanding human being. Now, the average home sold by Empower Home Team sells 3 times faster than with the average real estate agent. Who wants average when you're putting your home on the market? And here's another metric. Dan Harker's home sellers net more than 4% more on average, which works out to about $30,000. And that extra money will come in mighty handy for downsizing or relocating. And Dan Harker is so confident of getting you top dollar for your home on the agreed deadline that if your home doesn't sell, Dan will buy it himself. That's his guarantee in writing. Don't lock yourself into an exclusive listing agreement until you talk with Dan Harker and Empower Home Team of Keller Williams. Here's the number, 844-672-SOLD. That's 844-672-SOLD, or visit HarkerHasTheBuyers.com. That's HarkerHasTheBuyers.com.
Ready to take charge of your financial future? DeWitt & Dunn Financial Services specializes in helping you meet your financial goals with confidence and clarity, whether you're already retired or nearing retirement. Retirement expert Kathy DeWitt Dunn and the team at DeWitt & Dunn will get you ready for retirement on your terms. Call DeWitt & Dunn at 972-473-4700 to schedule your free consultation. That's 972-473-4700 or DeWittandDunn.com. Get it done with DeWitt & Dunn.
Repaving a sidewalk or driveway and pouring concrete costs thousands of dollars. Longcrete lifts the problem by injecting polyurethane underneath uneven concrete to raise, level, and support it. Faster, cleaner, less invasive, and at a fraction of the cost it would take to replace it. Stop tripping over uneven faults in your walkway or porch. Get rid of the ponding on the side of your house or flatten your driveway so you can use the garage again. Don't replace it, raise it. Schedule a free estimate today. Visit longcrete.com. That's LONGCRETE.com.
President Trump doesn't trust backstabbing rhino Chip Roy because in Washington, Chip Roy defended Liz Cheney and wanted to impeach President Trump.
The President of the United States deserves universal condemnation for what was clearly impeachable conduct.
Chip Roy sided with Gavin Newsom and the trans lobby to allow radical transgender surgeries on kids. And Roy told MAGA voters,
"You can kiss my ass."
Chip Roy even helped illegal aliens avoid deportation. Texas deserves Trump ally MAGA Mays Middleton. MAGA Mays defeated the atheists, restoring the 10 Commandments in schools. MAGA Mays stopped radical transgender surgeries on kids, banned men from girls' sports, and kicked perverted men out of girls' restrooms. And MAGA Mays designated drug cartels terrorists and is fighting to stop Sharia law in Texas. That's why President Trump called Mays a MAGA champion with a conservative record that is second to none. Trump ally MAGA Mays Middleton for Texas Attorney General.
Political ad paid for by the Mays Middleton campaign.
Do watch for an accident at 35W northbound Alta Mesa in the right lane. You're backed up for about 5 minutes. There's also one on westbound I-20. This is right around Crowley James, and traffic's backed up to about Village Parkway, so almost the I-20-35 interchange, and almost a 5-minute holdup. If you're traveling I-20 westbound at 408, they're doing road work in the right lane, and that backup is about 10 minutes. And there's also construction in Irving in the right lane, 183 westbound Story, an extra 5 from MacArthur. With WBAP First Traffic, I'm Julie Hardy.
From the Airco AC Heating and Plumbing Studio, this is News Talk 820 WBAP, and now on FM at 93.3.
You're listening to News Talk 820 and 93.3 FM WBAP with Primetime Alex Stein, and we're talking about the Muslim invasion of North Texas. That's right. You think I'm over-exaggerating. I'm not. They're building over a 200-acre complex in Plano, the eastern part of Plano, right in our backyard, and they're naming the streets after famous Islamic conquerors. Now, the reason why I have a problem with this, and the reason why you probably have a problem with this, is because it's weird. It's different. What is Texas about? We're about barbecue. We're about high school football. We're about, kicking butt, taking names, and not worrying about the opinions of strangers. So that's why we're going to be one of the few states that are actually bold enough to speak out against this, because these places like California, these places like New York City, where Mom Donnie has them doing prayer calls, 5 times a day. That's not going to happen in Texas because we actually have a backbone. That's what separates a New Yorker from a Texan. Is that
Islam does not believe
we
in
don't
freedom
just talk
of speech.
about it.
Islam
We
does
be
not
about
believe in
it.
freedom of
And
religion.
that's why I'm proud to be a Texan. And that's why I'm proud to defend this state
Those three
from
things
an
are
invasion
antithetical to the West.
that I don't like to see happening. And I'm going to play this
Muslim-majority
clip
country.
in mind.
You are not, most Muslim-majority countries, you cannot criticize
which I'm
the
very
Prophet
lucky to be a
Muhammad.
part of.
In most Muslim-majority
Talking about
countries,
how
Islam
is not compatible with the West, and I
freedom
tend
of
to
religion
agree.
protections. And finally,
The question is
whereas we in the
macro
West are very
Islam
careful to try to
compatible
intermix
with Western
religion
values?
and state,
Macro.
they are
course it's not.
commanded.
There are three
to
major
actually go
reasons
into
why.
the state.
Islam does not believe in freedom of speech.
Islamic.
Islam does not believe in freedom of religion.
Islam. And the last thing
Islam
I'll
does
finally
not
say
believe
is
in separation
I
of
cannot
mosque
see
and
a
state.
single
Those
Western
three
country
things are
that has become
antithetical
more
to the
Islamic
West.
and has become
In
a better place to live,
Muslim
that is
majority
happier
country
or freer.
You are not, most Muslim majority countries, you cannot criticize the Prophet Muhammad. In most Muslim majority countries, you do not have the same robust freedom of religion protections. And finally, whereas we in the West are very careful to try to intermix religion and state, they are commanded to actually go into the state and try to change the state to be more Islamic around the core pillars of Islam. And the last thing I'll finally say is, I cannot see a single Western country that has become more Islamic and has become a better place to live that is happier or freer. By what metric?
And I agree with Charlie 100%. If you look at the UK, it's an absolute nightmare. They got rid of guns, but stabbing attacks have gone up exponentially. So you're not safe even if they take away our guns. And the fact that you have immigrants that if they do get in trouble, the likelihood of them just getting deported is more likely than them getting actually punished by the law and going to jail, then they're going to be incentivized to actually go and cause violence and not worry about the repercussions. So what that does is that creates a culture of violence. And these are people that are not afraid to be violent to women. These are people that want you to not have the ability to speak freely. I mean, every single policy of an Islamic state goes against what the founding fathers wanted for us. And that should really raise the alarm bells. It should make them start ringing and dinging. We should all be like, this is a very bad situation, and we should be telling one another about this. But luckily, I do have the ability to speak to a lot of people at once. So maybe you guys can go out there and start spreading, the awareness when it comes to this horrible situation. So we got Aubrey in Arlington wants to talk about Muslim culture. Aubrey, what do you think about this invasion in the North Texas area? You there, Aubrey? Aubrey? Well, Aubrey's been on hold for 30 minutes. You there, Aubrey? No, I guess they dropped. All right, go to Chris in Brazil. Chris, how you doing?
Yeah, hello, am I on?
You are on, Chris. How can I help you? And what do you think about all the Muslim culture happening in Texas? Are you calling from Brazil?
Yeah, I am. I am a Texas native, though.
What do you think is going on, in your opinion?
Well, yeah, so I guess I want to comment on it somewhat in defense of Muslim people.
Okay.
But also,
I'll allow it.
What I think is going on is that, so in my lifetime, I've met a lot of Muslim people. One of my best friends is a Muslim from Saudi Arabia. A lot of these people are good people.
That's true. I would agree with you.
I do disagree with Charlie Kirk. Rest in peace. His notion that Islam is completely incompatible with the West.
Well, they don't believe in freedom of religion or freedom of speech. Would you say that is the opposite of what we have here?
I mean, many cultures actually do show respect for other religions and stuff. Like I know, there's a lot of Muslim countries, I think even like Iran, where alcohol is legal for Christians to consume because they respect the practice of communion.
Yeah, and we do that. We do that for other religions here in America as well, though.
But what I'm getting at is it's the Muslims that they're importing to the U.S. are the worst. And it's clearly part of an agenda. What they got are imagine if you lived in another country and they started importing Americans for an agenda, and the people they brought were liberals from LA and then tweakers from West Virginia.
Yes, it's the low of the low. But I would probably be the first person deported because they would want me to go there and cause as much chaos as possible. So I would probably be on the short list of people that they would immigrate to a foreign country. But, if you look at Venezuela and you look at all the South American countries, they were just emptying out the jails and letting all the criminals come up to America. So you're saying that situation is similar to what is happening when it comes to the Islamic migration to DFW?
Oh, yes, absolutely. As someone living in South America, I could tell you absolutely.
Well, Chris, I'm jealous that you're in South America because you have all the legal big booty Latinas there. And can you tell us before you go, what are the big booty Latinas like in Brazil? Are they nice? I think they invented the thong in Brazil, if I'm correct.
I'm married to one.
Oh, and does she walk around in a thong or do you put on the burqa and cover all that up?
I put on the burqa.
Good. See, little aspects of Sharia law are good, I guess, when you want to protect your wife in Brazil because, she wants to walk around in a thong all day long. So, hey, listen, Chris, I appreciate your opinion. I appreciate you calling in. Thank you so much and have a good rest of your day.
Yeah, you're welcome. Have a good one.
All right, guys, if you guys want to call in, the number is 1-800-288-9227. Coming up next, we have Kaylee Campbell, who is in Wiley for their school board meeting where the parents are very upset that there are Muslim clubs handing out Qurans and handing out hijabs to young students. And now they're finding out that they're serving halal options in the cafeteria without the parents knowing. And I mean, is that evil? I don't know if it's evil necessarily, but it's all done incrementally. They take one thing and it's just another. And then once you give a mouse a cookie, you got to give him milk. So then we let them cook the halal food. Next thing you know, they're going to take our dogs away. They're going to go to the SPCA and they're going to euthanize all the dogs because in their culture, they think dogs are haram. Well, let me tell you something. I love dogs. Okay. So a culture that disagrees with dogs is a culture that I disagree with wholeheartedly. America is a great country. And that's what's so great about it is that I can have a German Shepherd. I can have a Golden Retriever. And I'm not going to worry about my Muslim neighbor trying to vote against me having the right to own an animal. Pets are some of the things that bring me the most joy in the world. I love my cats. They don't like cats either. I mean, I don't really know their opinion on cats, but I know in dogs, when it comes to dogs, Sharia law outlaws them. They don't want them. They're haram. They think they're nasty. Well, I don't think a dog is nasty. And guess what? I have a stinky dog, and I love the way she stinks. I love it. I can smell it all day long. You know why? Because I have such an affection for animals and my pets especially that I would do anything for them. I would spend any dollar, my last dollar in my bank account, I would spend to help my animals because that's how much I care about them. And we're importing a culture that not only doesn't care about them, but that wants to euthanize the majority of dogs in North Texas, in New York, and in California. I wish I was making this up. And if I was running PR for these people, you know what I would do? I would tell them, hey, maybe we should take it easy on the dogs because Americans love dogs, especially with all the single women out there that love their pets. You're really hitting a nerve, and it's a nerve that you guys are not going to benefit from hitting. You think you're going to change us? You're not going to change America's love for pets and animals. That's why these pet food companies make so much money, and that's why there's so many pet stores all across the country. So God bless dogs, down with Sharia law. All right, coming up next, we got Kaylee Campbell to talk about all of the Sharia madness in Wiley. You're listening to News Talk 820 and 93.3 FM WBAP.
Sell your home with a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate and choose when you want to move. There are no showings, no open houses, and no stress. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today. That's markspain.com and start packing.
People have been hearing ads for the Good Contractors List for over a decade, and it surprises me when people still don't know who we really are. Homeowners think that we must be something like Angie's List, and contractors still think we're somewhere they can spend money to get leads. But the Good Contractors List is something much different. The Good Contractors List is the first ever contractor resource that has effectively separated the good contractors from the bad. We've built a safe contractor community, a community of contractors from every field of home service that share the same values, standards, and desire to do the right thing. The whole community is governed by a third party who is willing to risk $25,000 on every job they do. That's not a marketing strategy, that's responsibility in community form. If you want to join a community where homeowners are protected and good contractors are elevated, then go to thegoodcontractorslist.com today. That's thegoodcontractorslist.com.
If the job's not right, we'll get it fixed. Only at the Good Contractors List.
Hey guys, does your sex life stink? At Men's Edge Medical, they understand the unique challenges men face as they age, and they're here to help you get back to being the best version of yourself. Here's patient counselor Raul Garza.
Whether it's erectile dysfunction or premature stamina, we offer advanced treatment tailored and customized to your needs. Our medical professionals specialize in solutions that work using the latest and cutting-edge technology and a personalized approach to ensure you feel like yourself again.
Don't let these issues define you. Men's Edge Medical offers discreet consultations, and they take the time to listen and understand what's holding you back. Whether you suffer from ED, low T, or premature stamina, call today for a free consultation. If you don't get results on your first visit, that visit is free. Call 972-996-0900, 972-996-0900, or go to mensedgemedical.com.
If you think we need a politician for our next attorney general, I got good news for you.
there's a whole bunch of fast talkers to choose from. Or maybe you want someone that's done it before. You know, put criminals in jail and kept them there too. While the politicians talked, Joan Huffman was a tough-as-nails prosecutor, putting criminals away. And she was a judge, and nobody was tougher on crime. How about the border? In the state Senate, Joan Huffman got more money and manpower to stop Biden's invasion than any man in Texas. Joan Huffman is tough. She's effective. She's the most qualified. And that's why Texas top law enforcement all endorse Joan. Joan Huffman, prosecutor, judge, a strong conservative for Attorney General. Political ad paid for by Texans for Joan Huffman.
Need a reason to call Thomas J. Henry Law after a car accident? How about $1 billion? Because Thomas J. Henry Law fights even when the insurance company says your claim is worth nothing. Thomas J. Henry doesn't back down. That's how we put over $1 billion in our clients' pockets in just the last 4 years. And why we're one of the largest personal injury law firms in Texas. Car accident? Visit thomasjhenrylaw.com. Thomas J. Henry, the name you know, the firm you trust. Principal office, San Antonio.
Texas Connects Us is more than a tagline. It's a motto we live by for you.
It's about keeping you safe and at ease when storms head your way.
It's delivering the most accurate forecast in DFW 9 years running.
It's the security we bring with storm tracking tools.
Focused on protecting your family.
It's the confidence that comes from a team committed to keeping you safe wherever you live.
Live on any screen. From big cities to small towns, Texas Weather connects us. NBC 5.
DFW's News, Talk, Traffic and Weather Station. News Talk 820 WBAP, Fort Worth, Dallas. 93.3 WBAP FM, Haltom City, Dallas, Fort Worth. And KPLX HD2, Fort Worth, Dallas.
Your Texas voice for common sense. Trending now.
A mistrial declared during jury selection. I'm Monty Cook from the WBAP 24-hour Breaking News Center.
ClassicChevrolet.com, WBAP's first traffic and weather.
On the ones.
If you're headed out to the Rowlett area, 30 eastbound between Dalrock and Horizon across the Lake Rehoboth Bridge, they're working in the right lane. So it's about a 5-minute delay all the way across the bridge. 20 westbound at 408, that's road work in the right lane. That'll take you a good 10 minutes. And then 20 westbound at McCart, there's a disabled vehicle, but 2 right lanes are blocked, and it's about a 2-minute backup. With WBAP First Traffic and Weather on the ones, I'm Julie Hardy.
Classic Chevrolet in Grapevine, #1 Chevy dealership in the world, 3 years straight. More new Chevrolets to choose from than anyone. All priced to sell at ClassicChevrolet.com. Together, let's drive. Based on new Chevrolet registrations 2023 through 2025.
From the WBAP On-Time Experts 24/7 Weather Center, mix of clouds and sunshine today. Temperatures again well above average. Upper 70s this afternoon, low 60s tonight. Sunny, breezy, warm, closing in on 80 tomorrow. And then cooler air moves in. Partly to mostly cloudy skies on Friday. Afternoon highs in the middle to upper 60s. Cooling off even more this weekend with a mix of clouds and sun. Low to mid 60s Saturday. Right around 60 degrees for Sunday. For WBAP News, I'm meteorologist Ken Boone at the Weather Channel.
It's 63 degrees in Fort Worth, 67 in Dallas. News brought to you by the Good Contractors List. A day of federal jury selection in the high-profile Alvarado ICE ambush case abruptly ended in a mistrial.
A federal judge has declared a mistrial in the federal case against 9 people charged in connection with the July ambush on a North Texas ICE detention facility in Alvarado. The 9 defendants faced dozens of charges related to the attack, including attempted murder of officers and employees of the United States, rioting, and providing material support to terrorists. All 75 prospective jurors have been released. Jury selection will resume with a new panel on Monday. Sean Allen, WBAP News.
Officials revealing a new development in the search for Nancy Guthrie. Fox's Brian Yennis reporting from Tucson, Arizona.
The Pima County Sheriff and the FBI are going to be analyzing more DNA after testing revealed that the DNA found on the glove 2 miles from Nancy Guthrie's home belonging to an unknown male and the DNA found inside of the Guthrie home belonging to an unknown individual are 2 different people, and neither of those DNA samples produced a match in the FBI's national database. Now, the next step includes analyzing the DNA using investigative genetic genealogy. This is when investigators take the DNA samples, they upload it into public genetic databases, and they try to find the suspect's relatives. They build a family tree to eventually lead them back to their suspect.
The search for Guthrie now in its 18th day. A figure skater from Plano had a rough go at the 2026 Winter Olympics yesterday. We get more from WFAA's Natalie Haddad.
Plano's Amber Glenn faltered in short program at the 2026 Winter Olympics. The three-time U.S. champion landed the difficult triple axel, but erred on a triple loop jump and fell to 13th, more than 10 points behind the leader from Japan. She knew the mistake had cost her, and she skated off the ice with tears in her eyes.
Your money news powered by McGowan Group Wealth Management. Pinterest raised its forecast for first quarter revenue today after completing its acquisition of connected TV advertising platform TV Scientific. The revised forecast comes less than a week after its previous one, reflecting a partial quarter contribution from the newly acquired business. Pinterest shares up about 6% in early trading this morning. On Wall Street, Dow Jones Industrial averages up 291 points. NASDAQ is up 302, and the S&P 500 has gained 59 points. I'm Monty Cook. Keep connected, DFW, throughout your day on your new home for Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins today from 11 a.m. to 2. News Talk 820 and 93.3 FM, WBAP. WBAP salutes Lake Dallas. That's Lake Dallas. Go to our secret contest page at WBAP.com now for your chance to see the Eagles at the Sphere in Las Vegas. It's for special WBAP listeners just like you.
Thank you all so much for listening to News Talk 820 and 93.3 FM WBAP with Primetime Alex Stein. We've been talking about this Muslim invasion all morning, and I'm not trying to scare you. I don't think you need to live in fear. Living in fear is the worst thing you can do. But I also think you need to be aware of what's happening because a lot of us might not know. But the parents at Wiley ISD, they are very aware that there are groups that are coming on campus and just subversively teaching Sharia law to the students. So we brought on a journalist that was there last night. She's a local journalist. Her name's Kaylee Campbell. And I want to get her perspective on what the parents thought about this sudden Sharia invasion happening in Wiley, Texas. Kaylee, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Thank you for having me, Alex.
It's my pleasure. So you were at the Wiley ISD school board meeting, and we played some clips of the parents yelling and screaming. But can you tell us how many people were pro-Sharia law and how many people were anti-Sharia law at the meeting last night?
So pro-Sharia law, there was about maybe 8 to 10 people. And then anti-Sharia law, I'd say about 30 to 40.
And what impression did you get from the administrators? It seems like they were being sympathetic to the pro-Sharia law and pro-Islam speakers and not the anti-Islam speakers because they were cutting them off after 2 minutes, but they were letting the Muslim speakers speak as long as they want. Is that correct?
Yeah, so when the first few people went up there to talk, Bill Howard, he's the president of the school board, he was like actively rolling his eyes and like shaking his head just so like ever so slightly. And he looked so annoyed when like the anti-Sharia law people were talking, the parents of Wiley ISD. And then, of course, there was this one Muslim lady who went up there and was talking, and she went over her 2-minute time limit. And that's not normally their time limit to begin with. Let me preface that. But yeah, they let her go over and they were cutting everybody off the second it hit 2 minutes.
And so what was the thing that caused a big stir in the city? They had a Why Islam booth where no other religious organizations are able to go there during club day, but they let an Islamic organization go there. Can you tell us what the controversy surrounds?
Yeah, so a kid named Carlos, all the credit goes to him. He posted a video and exposed the fact that there was a booth that came in, I believe, during lunchtime, and they were handing out those Why Islam pamphlets. They were handing out like the Qurans, the hijabs, because it was World Hijab Day for the women specifically. I know. And basically, nobody noticed. Apparently, none of the administrators noticed. It's right in the middle of a hallway. Everybody passed by, and somehow, some way, this group, which is kind of associated with the school, kind of just associated with the Islamic group of the school, made its way into the school without any like knowledge, any administrator knowledge, and then managed to host a booth for the duration of lunchtime. And then everybody was upset because it raises questions. Not only are they indoctrinating the children, but how
school
did they
safety. Yeah. How did they get into school? But see, that's why I think it's an inside job. I think those administrators had to have known about it, because all of a sudden you got this pro-Muslim group handing out hijabs on World Hijab Day and handing out Qurans. I think that they would stick out like a sore thumb. So I find it hard to believe, and I'm not calling you a liar, that these administrators just let in a group of, in 2001, they would have been considered terrorists. I'm not calling them that, but that we lived in a different culture back then. It was a different time. I just find it hard to believe that they just let in a bunch of people with big boxes. There could have been guns in those boxes, could have been knives in those boxes that are holding the Qurans and holding the hijabs, and just let them set up a table. I think it would almost be easier to bring a gun into a school, which I obviously don't want, but you're just going to have a safety issue and let random Islamic invaders at our campus. That just blows my mind that they would even use that as an excuse that we didn't know, because I think it shows their incompetence more than anything.
Yeah, and so it was exposed after the fact, once all of this started going viral, that they had a World Hijab Day last year as well, and the principal was a part of it. She was posting about it on social media. She put on a hijab herself, and she obviously knew about it. She had prior knowledge, and so somewhere in the school, somebody knew. And I think that the Wiley ISD school board is trying to separate themselves from it and be like, well, we kind of own the school, but we had no knowledge of it. But that's not true either. And somebody's lying, because even some of the speeches last night called them out on the fact that some of the other, conservative or Christian groups have to go through loops and loops and loops on having the right qualifications, getting the right approvals and things like that. There's so many steps that these other groups have to go through just to get, maybe a table set up or a pamphlet handed out. But this group managed to just walk in on a random, day and start handing out a bunch of stuff. And again, there's no way the teachers didn't notice that women were carrying hijabs around. Yeah,
they definitely noticed. So I'm also hearing rumors that they're trying to serve halal food at Wiley ISD. Is that correct? Or is that just a, internet conspiracy?
I heard one of the parents say that they have halal food options in a cafeteria, and I'm not 100% sure on that, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, the reason why I think it's a big deal, the first ever Buffalo Wild Wings that serves halal meat is in the DFW area. I believe it's either Richardson or Plano. It just opened up and it's been going super viral. And listen, I get it. Different cultures have different traditions and practices, but they're totally changing Buffalo Wild Wings in this DFW area by giving it this, I guess, woke makeover. I don't even know what to call it. But when you're making specifically halal food, it seems like you care more about the Muslim customers and you care about the other customers. So I just think that this is being done very subversively. It's happening right underneath our noses, and not enough people are actually paying attention. So, Kaylee, thank you so much for actually standing up against this and really shining a light on it. I know you've been going viral the last few weeks, really covering all of this, but what can a normal person do to stop their country from being invaded by legal immigrants? I think most of these immigrants are legal. Am I correct?
I think so. And that's also the problem, is what can you call them out on if they're coming into the country legally? What other points can we make about how they're impacting our cities and impacting our state? Because if the baseline is that they're coming in legally, point out what else they're doing wrong. So the everyday average person, what they can do is they need to get involved in their local school board meetings or their local city council meetings, because we're seeing the same things happening in places like Frisco, in places like Murphy, in places like Plano, and it is all over. And that's why it's important for everybody who lives in these cities to actually get involved, because from what I've seen in the past few weeks, just attending, city council meetings and stuff, there's power in numbers. And these people on city council and stuff are going to feel the pressure if people actually show up and if people actually voice their concerns about what's going on.
I agree. Well, thank you for being a strong voice for American values and standing up for your Christian values. We really appreciate you coming on, Kaylee, and don't stop fighting, because we need more people and warriors like yourself to, speak up and speak loud. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on.
All right, everybody go follow Kaylee on X. Gosh, I should have had her shout out her X account, but it doesn't matter. You can just Google Kaylee Campbell. She's going super viral. All right, guys, coming up next, we're going to go into the Texas AG race and all of the crazy primary drama surrounding Stephen Colbert. You're listening to News Talk 820 and 93.3 FM WBAP.
Breaking news. You never know when it'll happen. Whenever it happens, wherever it happens, you'll hear it here.
Sheriff Chris Nanos tells Fox News they're still hoping to find Nancy Guthrie.
Do you want to give the government back over to the people who frankly burned down the house and made most Americans much less wealthy and much less safe?
Keep connected, DFW.
News Talk 820 WBAP.
And now on FM at 93.3.
Dallas Men's Health. Revive your energy, drive, and confidence. DallasMen'sHealth.com.
Gold demand is skyrocketing to record highs. As more Americans rush to preserve their savings, will there be enough gold? I'm Dr. Ron Paul, and I believe physical gold is the only way to truly protect your 401k or IRA savings. Gold offers tangible security that can't be tracked, stolen, or inflated. That's why I strongly advocate for gold IRAs. To learn more, text the word SECURE to 989898 now. Birch Gold Group will send you a free info kit on gold IRAs. Birch Gold is the only gold company I trust, and their thousands of great reviews prove I'm not alone. So don't wait another second. Protect your retirement savings today and see how easy it is to move your IRA or 401k into physical precious metals. Text SECURE to the number 989898 for your free gold IRA info kit. Again, SECURE to 989898.
Message and data rates may apply.
When life gets busy, Chick-fil-A makes mealtime simple. From warm, fresh favorites to familiar menu items everyone loves, it's food you can feel good about. Perfect for busy mornings, quick lunches, or easy dinners the whole family can enjoy. And it's not just the food that keeps people coming back. It's the little moments. The friendly smile in the drive-thru, the warm welcome you get when you walk in the door. Chick-fil-A just has a way of making life feel a little easier and a whole lot tastier. Stop by Chick-fil-A today. It's our pleasure.
Mayor Armin Mazzani put woke out of business in Keller. Armin helped our trustees clean up our schools. He stood up to drag shows targeting kids and made promoting strong families his top priority. We can trust Armin Mazzani. Vote March 3rd. Radical Islam is on the rise in North Texas, but not in Keller. Mayor Armin Mazzani banned Sharia courts in his city. Now he's running to ban Sharia statewide. American law for American courts only. Vote Armin Mazzani.
Political ad paid for by the Armin Mazzani campaign.
Come on, Gus. This is the best house in the neighborhood. Let's find an open gap on their roof and get in the attic and have a heyday making thousands of dollars in damage.
Oh, I can't wait. I'll chew on their electrical wires, ruin their insulation, and the homeowners will never know where we came from.
Come on, follow me. Wait a minute. I swear, there used to be an opening here in their roof line yesterday.
Oh no! The Firehouse roofing truck is here!
At Firehouse, we look at thousands of DFW roofs a year, and too often we find perfect entry points for pests. This is why we originated the easiest solution with our attic seal service. Our seal service team is running 20 appointments a day for only $2.99. And it comes with a 24-month no-pest promise, or we'll refund you your money. Call or schedule online today at firehouseroofing.com and say good riddance to those pesky little rodents.
Don't get burned, get a Firehouse roof.
Alex, I love smart financial news. Sometimes that's hard to find. Where should I tune?
Tune in to networthradio.com for your weekly financial news updates. WBAP Saturday afternoon at 4 p.m.
That's networthradio.com.
I-30 eastbound, Down Rock to Horizon. They're doing some road work in the right lane. It's a couple extra minutes to cross the bridge. Do watch for some construction on the right side of the roadway on the westbound side of 183 at Story Road in Irving. It's a couple minute delay through there. It's just kind of slowing down a little bit. 20 westbound at 408. They're in the right lane, and that's about a 10-minute drive. With WBAP First Traffic, I'm Julie Hardy.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Firm. Score major deals on top brands at Mattress Firm's President's Day sale. Find your dream mattress today. Their sleep experts are highly trained to find the right one to fit your unique needs. They make sleep easy.
Brought to you by Men's Edge Medical. Men's Edge Medical right here in Dallas is dedicated to helping you get your edge back. You'll love their patient-friendly atmosphere. Don't continue to suffer from ED, premature stamina, or low T. Call 972-996-0900 or go to mensedgemedical.com.
Be listening every Thursday morning at 8:53 for Best Buy Windows and Sidings, SPCA WBAP's Pet of the Week. Help us find a home for a wonderful fur baby that will be your best friend and companion. Thursdays on News Talk 820 and 93.3 FM WBAP. And for more, go to WBAP.com.
Thank y'all so much for tuning in to News Talk 820 and 93.3 FM WBAP with your host, Alex Stein. And we've talked a lot about all of the Sharia law that's happening in the North Texas area, but I don't want to talk about that anymore. Well, I guess if you guys want to call in and talk about it, I'll allow it. But I want to talk about what's happening in these early voting races, specifically with the Senate primary for the Democrats. Now, on this network, we always talk about the conservatives a lot. You know, they get a little more airtime, unless we're making fun of the libs. But there's a very tough race when it comes to Cornyn, Paxton, and Wesley Hunt. But I think what's going to dictate who wins that senator race is who the left puts up as a challenger. And right now, it's looking like this James Tallarico fella is what the establishment wants. They're all rooting for James, so much so that Stephen Colbert is being accused of doing a publicity stunt and lying when he said that it was CBS that prevented him from having James Tallarico on the show because of the equal time rule, where both politicians have to have an equal amount of time when it comes to an FCC communication. Now, I think this is a little ridiculous, and I think that you're going to find out that they definitely don't want Jasmine Crockett to be the nominee on the Democratic side, because if she gets in to that race, she's basically mentally ill. All she does is talk about her eyelashes and her fingernails. And she has a really funny flub. When she's talking about CBS, she says CPS, Child Protective Services, probably because she doesn't have any kids, but she probably deals with CPS a lot. She was probably taken out of her home. And I don't know if that's
provided legal guidance at the
when you have the mindset that Jasmine Crockett has, you can tell that she probably did come from a broken home, because she has such a gangster way of talking and operating, and just her speech patterns are that of an NBA player, and not even a good one that's on the bench. So let's play a little clip of her calling out CBS for not inviting her on the program after allowing James Tallarico to come on and campaign against her.
They just needed to. I mean, they said this. The show was provided legal guidance that the broadcast could trigger the FCC equal time rule as two other candidates, including Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett. If we would have gotten an offer, that would have been great. But we're in the middle of early voting.
We actually received a phone call, and it was a little bit earlier today. And in that call, they explained that they actually told CBS that they could go ahead and move forward with the interview of James Tallarico. They just needed to offer me equal time. I did not get a request from the Colbert Show to go on. As you know, I've been on Colbert multiple times. And frankly, if we would have gotten an offer, that would have been great. But we're in the middle of early voting. So I'm kind of focused on being in Texas at this moment.
Just listen to the double speak. She's like, if I would have had an offer, I would have gone, but I'm too busy to go. So really, you just didn't get invited because everybody's tired of hearing your bull crap, Jasmine. And let's just be real. Nobody cares. But I do hope that Jasmine wins. So I think Colbert should be in jail, even worse, prison. If he's not going to give equal time and let her go out there and pontificate just as much as James Tallarico, who is a pro-choice Christian pastor, which I would think abortion is the opposite of what God would want it, especially Jesus Christ. I know that Jesus Christ wouldn't be pro-choice. He wouldn't be telling women that they need to have an abortion, but that is the type of leadership that we're going to get from James Tallarico. So maybe actually they're doing us a favor by not putting Jasmine Crockett out there on Colbert so she can give her enough rope she can hang herself type situation. But I don't know if that's the case. I think they just want Tallarico to win. They don't want Jasmine Crockett to be a factor. But if you are a conservative and you want the conservative candidate to win the Senate race here in Texas, we really need Jasmine Crockett to be the nominee for the Democrats. She's so untalented and so stupid. We couldn't ask for a better opponent to beat. Well, speaking of opponents and speaking of these races, I know the lines are lit up. Ted in Dallas. Ted, what do you think about Jasmine Crockett or the Muslim culture invading the North Texas area? I mean, what's on your mind this morning?
What's on my mind is the Muslim culture debate. It appears like if you're Muslim, you're basically out in the U.S.
That's how it should be. Bye. If you're Muslim, see ya. Bye-bye.
And I don't find that much different with what's going on in Israel.
Well,
so reality is
October 7th was bad. I mean, you got to kick him out. I mean, you got to make him leave there too. I mean, what do you expect if you're going to go a bunch of hang gliders, gliding them in on people and shoot people at a music festival? I mean, what do you want from these people? They don't want to assimilate, Ted.
Yeah, but I think if you're going to look at the assimilation, let's talk Christians and Israel.
Yeah, I mean, I mean,
there's not very many.
That's true. That is true. But, there's different cultures there. And I think that they would, I don't know. They probably don't allow it. So maybe we should take a play from their book and we don't allow a bunch of Muslims to come to America and set up shop. I mean, maybe we just kind of copy a page from their playbook.
Right. But is that Israel controlling that, or is that Christians controlling that in the U.S.? That's my question.
Well, we are a Christian country, but Israel does have some influence. And I think that you could argue that now we're getting more Islamic influence. So there's probably going to be a little heat. But, typically we've supported Israel. They've been our biggest allies. So I think part of this may be protection of our Jewish brothers and sisters. But at the end of the day, if you're the victim of a suicide bomb, a Jewish person gets killed, a Christian person gets killed, a suicide bomber doesn't care about your religion. I think we learned that on 9/11.
Yeah, and you also mentioned that your great friend was Charlie Kirk.
Yes, yes.
And this discussion started with Charlie Kirk.
Well, I don't know if it started with Charlie, but he definitely carried the torch. I think this discussion's been happening for a while now, probably ever since 2001. But I think it's getting to a boiling point, and now it's starting to boil over.
Oh, well, what I'm saying is since I started listening as Ted on hold, I've bounced back and forth at which angle I'm going to come from. But bottom line, I think it's the aggression toward Muslims. I mean,
we're not aggressive enough, Ted. We're not aggressive enough, but I don't want to be physically aggressive. I'm saying we need to be emotionally aggressive. We need to be online aggressive. They need to see some of our tweets that are not very complimentary. So I think we do need to yell and scream a little bit. And I don't think we're being aggressive enough because they're building a 200-acre epic mosque center in Plano, Texas, a place that I frequent all the time, Ted. So I appreciate you calling in, but get Ted off the phone. This goofball doesn't know what he wants.
We had Taco Tuesday on Tuesday.
Well, I like Taco Tuesday. I'm all for amnesty for big booty Latinas. All right, well, we got to go to break. Ted, thank you for calling.
Okay.
Thank you, Ted. Thank you. Well, Ted's a nice young man. Well, folks, we got a lot left on the show. We didn't even really get into Jasmine Crockett because the callers are still concerned about the invasion of Islam. So thank you for listening to News Talk 820 and 93.3 FM WBAP.
Day after day, your faithful old garage door just waiting for you to hit that little button so it can spring to life and let you in or let you out until it quits on you. Hi, Brad Barton for Wellborn Garage. That's Wellborn with one L. We had Wellborn out last year. They gave our garage a complete makeover, and it sure needed it. We got a new insulated door, much better weather stripping, a whisper quiet opener, no chain to be greased every few months. We have a super bright LED light with motion detector that comes on the instant you walk into the garage, plus an outdoor keypad and a backup battery that keeps you from being locked in or locked out in a power failure. But Wellborn's just as happy to service your existing garage door and make it quieter, more reliable, and most of all, safer. And right now, there's no service fee with completed repairs. Wellborn Texan trucks are outfitted with parts for almost any brand of opener, so they can fix your garage usually in a single trip. They're just the perfect people for your garage door maintenance. Just go to callwellborngarage.com. That's callwellborngarage.com.
Open the door to quality and more. Wellborn Garage Doors.
It's tax season, and at LifeLock, we know you're tired of numbers. But here's a big one you need to hear. Billions. That's the amount of money in refunds the IRS has flagged for possible identity fraud. Now here's another big number, 100 million. That's how many data points LifeLock monitors every second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it guaranteed. One last big number. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit LifeLock.com for the threats you can't control. Terms apply.
Hear that?
That's Mike. He took ZzzQuil Pure Z's, so now he's sleeping soundly on a Sunday night. ZzzQuil Pure Z's are fast-acting melatonin gummies with a complementary botanical blend to help Mike get the sleep he needs to wake up refreshed and ready to conquer Monday. Let's do this Monday. ZzzQuil Pure Z's, just for sleep. Really great sleep. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Use as directed.
The Texas Comptroller is the chief financial officer of the world's 8th largest economy. Governor Abbott knows Kelly Hancock will keep the Texas economy booming. Comptroller Kelly Hancock protected your tax dollars and worked with Governor Abbott to fund President Trump's border wall. That's why Governor Abbott trusts Kelly Hancock.
This is Governor Greg Abbott. Results matter. That's why I endorse Kelly Hancock for Texas Comptroller. There is no one I trust more. Vote Kelly Hancock.
Kelly Hancock's opponent, Don Huffines, talks a big game, but his record tells a different story. His plans would trigger massive tax hikes. Huffines opposes property tax relief, calling it fool's gold. No wonder Huffines used his fortune to fund liberal Democrats. Texas can't afford the risk. Vote for the conservative Abbott-Hancock team. Greg Abbott for governor, Kelly Hancock for comptroller.
Political ad paid for by Texans for Greg Abbott.
Are you ready for more? Hello, it's Dane Miner, General Manager of Freeman Toyota. And when you shop with Freeman Toyota, you get 3 years of complimentary oil changes, plus 3 years of complimentary tire rotations, plus a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty with every new Freeman Toyota. 3 years of complimentary oil changes, plus tire rotations, plus a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty. Like I said, you get a lot more, and you won't pay a dime for it. Come see us at 183 and 820 or shop online at freemantoyota.com.
Career changers, including veterans and active duty service members. Your transition starts here. Go from GI to IT in a matter of months. Become a certified cyber warrior with training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, offering IT pros great opportunities and a rewarding lifestyle while protecting our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. Deploy your career in IT today at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
CarsForKids.org is the best vehicle donation charity, helping kids go from surviving to thriving. CarsForKids.org picks up vehicles in any condition for free.
CarsForKids.org. Right off the car, not the kid.
Sell your home with a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate and choose when you want to move. There are no showings, no open houses, and no stress. Hi, it's Ernie Brown. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today and start packing.
DFW's News, Talk, Traffic, and Weather Station.
Your Texas voice for common sense.
News Talk 820, WBAP.
And now, new on FM at 93.3. Trending now.
The latest in the Nancy Guthrie case, I'm Monty Cook from the WBAP 24-hour Breaking News Center.
ClassicChevrolet.com, WBAP's first traffic and weather.
On the ones.
We've got a wreck for you on 75. This is southbound at Mid Park. The right lane is blocked in just a couple minutes as you move that way from Beltline. There's road work on 183 westbound at Story in the right lane, and that'll hold you up for a couple minutes from MacArthur. Right lane's blocked on 20 with construction westbound at 408 and traffic slow for at least 5 minutes. With WBAP First Traffic and Weather on the Ones, I'm Julie Hardy.
Classic Chevrolet in Grapevine, #1 Chevy dealership in the world. 3 years straight. More new Chevrolets to choose from than anyone. All priced to sell at ClassicChevrolet.com. Together, let's drive.
Based on new Chevrolet registrations 2023 through 2025.
From the WBAP On-Time Experts 24/7 Weather Center, temperatures remain well above average here today and tomorrow. Afternoon highs well into the 70s to near 80 degrees, and then cooling off for Friday and the upcoming weekend. Mix of clouds and sunshine for us here today. We're into the upper 70s this afternoon. Low 60s tonight. Winds picking up a bit on Thursday. Mix of clouds and sun. Breezy closing in on 80 tomorrow afternoon. Partly to mostly cloudy skies. Cooler, middle to upper 60s Friday. For WBAP News, I'm meteorologist Ken Boone at the Weather Channel.
Right now, it is 63 degrees in Fort Worth, 67 in Dallas. The search for Nancy Guthrie continues in Arizona as officials say they did not find a DNA match on a glove found near the 84-year-old's home. Fox's Matt Finn reporting from Tucson, Arizona.
That glove of interest did not have a CODIS hit, and also it did not match DNA inside the house. But of course, the glove could come into play at some point. And also, the sheriff says the DNA from inside the house is critical too. The sheriff's office says it will be using other options aside from CODIS, including genealogy databases, which is partially how investigators traced down Brian Koberger. The Pima County Sheriff's Department writing, investigators are currently looking into additional investigative genetic genealogy options for DNA evidence to check for matches. CODIS is one option of many databases that are available.
The Pima County Sheriff says he believes the case is a kidnapping, and so far he's not aware of any direct link to Mexico. Another North Texas teacher has been arrested for inappropriate conduct. We get more from media partner WFAA's Chris Lawrence.
Frisco police announced they've arrested an elementary school teacher for invasive visual recording. Michael Cheek teaches third grade at Phillips Elementary School. District officials tell us he's been placed on leave and hasn't been on campus since the allegation came to light. Frisco police are asking anyone with information to give them a call. Right now, we're working to find out more about the incident that prompted these charges.
Talks between the U.S. and Iran taking place in Geneva alongside negotiations between Russia and Ukraine. Fox's Lucas Tomlinson has details.
President Trump's special envoys are trying to end a war and prevent one. They are negotiating with Iran and leading trilateral talks between Russia and Ukraine, all taking place in Geneva. Here's Vice President J.D. Vance on those talks with Iran.
You know, in some ways it went well. They agreed to meet afterwards. But in other ways, it was very clear that the president has set some red lines, that the Iranians are not yet willing to actually acknowledge.
The Trump team wants Iran to end its quest to enrich uranium. Israeli officials called the talks a smokescreen and say the odds for a deal are low. Iran's foreign minister says he wants talks to continue in 2 weeks' time. Some think Iran is just stalling. Yesterday, dozens of American fighter jets, including a squadron of fifth-generation F-22 Raptors, were seen flying toward the Middle East.
Last time F-22s were deployed to the Middle East was last June, shortly before the U.S. launched attacks against Iranian nuclear sites. Your money news powered by McGowan Group Wealth Management. Garmin forecasts annual profit and revenue that beat Wall Street estimates this morning, driven by strong demand for wearables and fitness products. A navigation device maker made the forecast despite uncertain consumer demand. Shares of Garmin are up 16% in today's trading so far. On Wall Street, Dow Jones Industrial Average is up 281 points. The NASDAQ is up 304, and the S&P 500 has gained 60 points. I'm Monty Cook. Keep connected, DFW, throughout your day on your new home from Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins today from 11 a.m. to 2. News Talk 820 and 93.3 FM, WBAP.
This report is sponsored by Orderly Meds, affordable GLP-1s. Struggling with weight loss? Orderly Meds offers GLP-1 semaglutide programs starting as low as $74 a month, delivered to your door. Start at loseweightnow.co. Eligibility required. Visit loseweightnow.co.
Brought to you by the law offices of Namath and Flores. I'm Dallas tax attorney Nick Namath.
And I'm Jamie Flores, the managing partner at the law offices of Namath and Flores.
We've helped thousands of taxpayers get out of IRS trouble for over 25 years.
Give us a call at 972-484-0TAX or visit myirsteam.com.
Arrive on time. Traffic for your travel. Keep connected, DFW, your official traffic station. News Talk 820 WBAP.
And now on FM at 93.3.
Thank y'all again for listening to News Talk 820 and 93.3 FM WBAP with your host, Alex Stein, number 99. And let me tell you something. What's happening in these Texas primary races is awesome. I love it because I like a little dirty politics. I like when these people are trying to get each other in trouble and slandering them and, airing all their dirty laundry out to the public. I often think that, sunlight is the best disinfectant. So you might as well just let us see it, and then we can make our interpretation of the situation and vote with our hearts after knowing the information. But if you hide the information, that makes it much harder for us to pick a candidate. So Tony Gonzalez, current congressman that is in a primary battle with famous gun YouTuber Brandon Herrera, is catching a lot of heat right now because he allegedly had an affair with one of his top aides, who then, in a very weird situation, took her own life by lighting herself on fire. Yes, that's right. Now, people have been reaching out to the congressman, Tony Gonzalez, asking him, what is the truth to this situation?
For months, rumors have swirled about a supposed affair between San Antonio Republican Congressman Tony Gonzalez and one of his aides, Regina Santos Avalos, who died by suicide last year.
Horrible.
Now, two people close to the aide and her family have told my colleague and I that the pair were engaged in a romantic
this is ridiculous. We got
A
actual
former staffer in
congressmen
the Uvalde
cheating on their
district office
wives,
where Regina
sleeping with
worked, shared a
staffers, and then
screenshot
the
of a
staffer
text
dies under
message.
mysterious circumstances.
In it, she
And
writes,
basically,
"Had an
no
affair with our
mainstream
boss,
media
and I'm fine.
outlets are
You'll
even
be
covering
fine."
it.
He said she became depressed after the relationship abruptly ended, and that Gonzalez and his staff repeatedly canceled visits. One of his aides, local officials Regina Santos in the Uvalde regional office, which Santos Avalos and this former staffer that we talked to had scheduled. And he said she talked about Tony every day, multiple times a day. She went from the #1 employee in the office to nothing. For the first time, the husband's lawyer also told us the affair was common knowledge among Gonzalez's district staff. With our boss. But he doesn't believe it played a role in the aide's death. He said she became, which the Bexar County Medical Examiner's Office ruled was a suicide by self. And that Gonzalez and his staff, when asked about the circumstances that led to her death, in the Uvalde Gonzalez said these rumors are completely untruthful about his schedule. But he has never directly addressed reports of the affair, and his office didn't respond to our request. She went from the #1 employee in the office to nothing. For the first time, the husband's lawyer also told us that the affair was common knowledge among Gonzalez's district staff. But he doesn't believe it played a role in the aide's death, which the Bexar County Medical Examiner's Office ruled was a suicide by self-immolation. When asked about the, quote, circumstances that led to her death, Gonzalez said the, quote, rumors are completely untruthful about his aide. But he has never directly addressed reports of an affair, and his office didn't respond to our request for comment today and yesterday.
So we know that Regina Avila's husband said that it was basically an open secret that Tony Gonzalez, a sitting congressman, was having an affair with his staffer. And this broke up his marriage, not Tony Gonzalez's marriage, but Regina Avila's marriage was turned upside down, causing them to break up. And that was what basically instigated her self-immolation suicide. And think about that. There's a million different ways to hurt yourself, but you're so mentally ill, you're so disturbed, you're so frustrated with being broken up with by a sitting congressman who cannot admit to his wife that y'all were together, cannot admit to the public, so he had to date you in the dark while you had a husband, so she's not really innocent in this whole thing. But there is a power asymmetrical struggle that Tony has all the power and can just brush her off at, the snap of his fingers, and she loses her job. She loses all the access that she had to him, and she probably did have some sort of emotional feelings for the congressman, because I've met these politicians, power and influence can really make a person drunk in love. I've seen it happen. And I'm sure that's what Regina was, is she saw the power. She saw the influence that he had. And she thought he was probably a pretty cool, good looking. Well, he's not good looking. He's ugly as sin. But my point is, she was attracted to that. And then when her husband found out, because it was an open secret, that Regina was having an affair with a Congressman Gonzalez, it broke up their marriage. So this woman lost her husband and then lost her boyfriend, who was a congressman, and couldn't even go to the public and talk about it because of fear of retribution from the congressman. And then she dies under mysterious circumstances, because I know some people that have taken their lives, and sadly, usually it's with drugs or, wrecking their car. There's a million different ways to do it. But I would find it hard to believe that a person chooses to light themselves on fire. But that's what happened with Regina. And now she's no longer with us. And I don't think that Tony Gonzalez necessarily had anything to do with her death. But there's no evidence to me that he's going to admit that he was having the affair. And that is the domino that fell, that knocked over all the other dominoes that led to Regina Avila's suicide. And now her home and is empty. Her kids without a mom. The ex-husband embarrassed. And all for what? So Tony Gonzalez can get his rocks off for a few minutes, because he's probably a freaky pervert. And look what happened in Uvalde. Now, I'm not blaming the Uvalde school shooting on him, but he should be spending his time fixing what's happening in South Texas instead of sleeping with his staffer and breaking up homes, breaking up marriages. So I just encourage you guys to really look into Tony Gonzalez and who he really is, because he is a liar and he is a fraud, apparently, because he will not admit that he was having an affair with his staffer when everybody knows it's true. We have the text messages. We have all the evidence. Just admit it, Tony. You're a scumbag. All right, coming up next, we're going to take some more of your calls. And we're going to dive even deeper into these primaries and all the spicy things that are happening right now. Thank you for listening to News Talk 820.
I think that's
WBAP.
Here are the results of the meeting in Wiley addressing Islam being promoted in their public schools. That's at 2:05 on the James Show. A different local school got some big donations from Jeffrey Epstein. Find out what's up with that at 3:15. And another mass shooting by a trans. So whatever we're doing, it isn't working. You'll hear this new case at 4:05. That's coming up today, 2 to 5. On the James Show with me, James Parker, on your Texas Voice for Common Sense. News Talk 820 and 93.3 FM, WBAP.
A family office is a team built to handle the three biggest financial responsibilities a family faces: wealth management, tax strategy, and estate planning. Most firms only manage your investments and refer the rest out, hoping everyone stays aligned. At Trajan, we built something different. Your wealth, tax planning, and estate planning are handled together inside one firm, under one roof. There's no guessing whether your CPA, advisor, and estate attorney are truly in sync, because our team works together every day on your behalf. When your financial life becomes more complex, your advice should become more coordinated, not more fragmented. One plan, one trusted team. Call Trajan today, 469-200-1075. That's 469-200-1075.
Trajan Wealth, an SEC registered investment advisor. Additional services through Trajan Estate and Trajan Tax. Additional disclosures and accreditation at TrajanWealth.com.
Pizza's here. Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If you've been injured in an accident, you know there's no shortage of attorneys who want your business. But when it comes to results, the numbers speak for themselves. Thomas J. Henry secured over $1 billion for clients in the past 4 years. We've successfully represented thousands of injured Texans, earning over 12,000 five-star reviews on Google. So who is the right attorney for you? Just look at the numbers. Thomas J. Henry, the name you know, the firm you trust. San Antonio, Dallas, Texas.
Hey, if you're thinking about a bathroom remodel, now is the time to call Zentex Remodeling Group. Hi, Attorney Brown. You know, during January and February, you get 2025 pricing plus $1,500 off or no interest for 12 months. And mention WBAP to receive a free premium shower door upgrade. Many installs are completed in as little as 1 day. Get a safer, better-looking bathroom and boost your home's value. Schedule your free, no-obligation in-home consultation today at Zentex.com. Zintex.com. That's Zentex.com.
It's a right lane that's blocked on 75 southbound at Mid Park. Just a slow roll as you pass by. And then 183 westbound at Story Road. That's road work in the right lane, couple minutes from MacArthur. And if you're trying to travel in Dallas on I-20, we've got road work there as well. Westbound at Spur 408 in the right lane. It's about 5 minutes from Main Street. With WBAP First Traffic, I'm Julie Hardy.
Brought to you by Men's Edge Medical. Don't be fooled by gimmicks and uncertain online medications. Men's Edge Medical offers real solutions right here in Dallas. If you suffer from ED, premature stamina, or low T, call Men's Edge Medical at 972-996-0900 or go to mensedgemedical.com.
From the Airco AC Heating and Plumbing Studio, this is News Talk 820 WBAP, and now on FM at 93.3.
That's right. It's News Talk 820 and 93.3 FM WBAP. And you're listening to Alex Stein right now. I want to say thank you all so much. And I really hope that I get to come here and speak with you guys more often. But sadly, I'm sure you heard last week I went and I spoke at the Plano City Council and I made some jokes that could have been considered insensitive towards the Indian population of the North Texas region. And I don't think that I was being insensitive. I was making some jokes about how their culture likes to drink cow pee and eat cow poop because they believe it has medicinal, it has
comedian and YouTuber has triggered online.
I thought it was funny. It went really viral, but now I'm starting to face a little bit of backlash, and I hope it doesn't affect me here at WBAP, but I want to play this clip of first post on Twitter, and this is an actual Indian news outlet. Never heard of it, never seen it, but they do have a legit website. It looks like it is legit, and I want you guys to hear how they're describing my city council speech last Monday at the Plano City Council.
Comedian and YouTuber has triggered online outrage after delivering an anti-Hindu speech in Texas. Dressed in Indian attire, comedian Alex Stein
Stein.
His remarks created visible discomfort and mocking its beliefs. He appeared donning a yellow curtain, black shorts, and slippers at the Plano City Council meeting, where elected officials deliberate advocacy, policy, budgets, and legislation. In his opening remarks, he introduced himself as a young Indian boy, failing to intervene in the Holy Land of India. During his speech, Stein insulted Indian traditions. He also repeatedly mocked the Hindu reverence for cows. His remarks created visible discomfort and anger inside the room, as members of the Indian American community at the meeting staged a walkout. His remarks drew sharp condemnation from an Indian American advocacy group, the Hindu American Foundation, or the HAF. Well, they criticized the council for failing to intervene during what it described as anti-Hindu rhetoric.
See, that's what these people don't realize is that we have the First Amendment. They can't limit my free speech. I can go up there and talk about how these Indians are eating cow poop and how they're drinking cow urine as much as I want. And as a matter of fact, if they stop me from doing that, I'll file a lawsuit because we believe in the Constitution here. And that's why America is the greatest country on earth, because we have the Constitution, because we have the First Amendment. So all these people that are complaining, oh, he should have been shut down, you don't value our culture whatsoever. And I noticed that they didn't even play a clip from the meeting because really nothing that I said was a pejorative. I just went there and pretended to love Indian culture, and I pretended to love the best parts of Indian culture, which is that of eating the cow poop and drinking the cow pee. Okay. So if they're doing that and I'm just mentioning that they're doing it, why am I the racist for mentioning what they're doing? They can't prove me wrong. They can't debate me in this because they know that they do worship the cow and they worship the excrement from the cow. And you know what? That's totally allowed. We have freedom of religion. So I'm not trying to stop you from doing that. I'm just trying to bring awareness to what is really happening, because a lot of people live in la la land. They don't know what's going on. They don't realize what Indians and why they like poop and why they like this. Like, they don't realize that people are drinking it, rubbing on their skin, using it for medicinal purposes. And I just wanted to bring attention to that. It doesn't mean I want you Indians to not do it. You guys want to drink all the cow pee and cow poop you want, go ahead. There's a lot of cows in Texas. Y'all pick the right place to go. But let's not pretend like it's not weird. Let's not pretend like what you're doing is normal. Let's not pretend like everybody else in America worships the cow and wants the cow dung. That's not how we do it here. So when we see a culture that is invading this North Texas region and we go and we spotlight it, I'm not racist. I'm just calling balls and strikes, and I want the people to know what's going on. It's not anti-Indian. I love the paneer. I love your food. I like some of your culture. Some of your women are very beautiful. The men, not so much. But I'm not anti-Indian. I'm anti-not Indian truth. I want all the truth out there. I'm sick of hiding in the dark, and then people don't realize what's going on. So let's just be honest about our culture, your culture, and let's not be ashamed when a comedian goes up there and talks about it, because there's nothing to be ashamed about. You guys love doing it. You should do it proudly. Don't be ashamed. I'm not ashamed to be a 6'3", sexy white man from Dallas. No, I love it. That's why I wear my Dallas Cowboys shirt all the time, because I'm proud of who I am. And that would make me very concerned if you're not proud, you're doing something that you're not proud of, then more than likely you're doing something nefarious and something not good. So we should be proud and we should be unapologetically ourselves. And that includes the Indians that have invaded the North Texas region. And that includes the Muslims that have invaded the region. We should be unapologetically ourselves so we know who we're dealing with. Because if you're hiding, you're being subversive, you're being covert, then we don't really know what's going on. And it makes it easier for you to trick us, the American people. So I encourage y'all not to be tricked. But speaking of somebody that is tricked all the time, AOC is absolutely just an idiot.
I think
and for the people that know me that are listening, you guys know that AOC and I had a short, romance on the Capitol.
This is a
Latina, and she came over there and embraced me, and we had a very
this is of course
moment. And then she tried to give me cancer, which actually ended up making me a lot bigger.
Policy of the United States
backfired, but she just totally embarrassed herself on the world stage. They asked her a simple question about China, and just listen to her get so flustered and not able to answer a pretty simple question.
I think that this is such a I think that. This is of course a very long-standing policy of the United States.
That took her 20 seconds to say absolutely nothing. When we talk about AOC, we're not dealing with a person that's smart. We're dealing with a person that's hot. And in America, a place that values beauty, that's probably half the battle. Just by being a hot lady. That's probably how she won in the first place when she basically got casted to be a congresswoman from New York. They had an open casting call where they said it was for politicians, but they really want actresses and actors, and AOC was chosen. There's a Netflix documentary exposing all that. So AOC is an idiot. She's not smart. But if every conservative thinks that she's just going to get laughed off the world stage, that's not going to happen. She can continue to fumble answers. She can mess up repeatedly, and they're still going to vote for her. Look at Gavin Newsom. California has gone down the drain, and he is still continually getting reelected. So the left does not care about results. They care about their feelings. And nobody is better at capturing the feeling of a, dejected liberal more than AOC. So she's a huge threat, but she can't speak English. Blows my mind. It should blow yours, but it's probably not as insensitive as Tony Gonzalez's staffer lighting herself on fire. So AOC is leftist. She's not as evil as some of these other politicians that are out there breaking up homes and breaking up marriages. So just remember this. There is a big club, and sadly, none of us are in it. But it is our duty and it is our job to expose that club so that everybody knows who is part of the two-tier justice system and who truly has freedom and who doesn't. And that's my job. And that's why I appreciate WBAP giving me the opportunity to come here and talk with you guys this morning. It's been a fun show. We got a lot of great shows coming up next. So stay tuned. I really appreciate it. It's been fun. AOC, though, you're an idiot. One of the dumbest, but you're probably one of the most effective. Thank you guys for listening to News Talk 820 and 93.3 FM WBAP.
Great food, friendly faces, and it's always our pleasure. Chick-fil-A makes mealtime easy. From breakfast to dinner, there's something for everyone. Visit Chick-fil-A today.
Listen, if you're losing your hair and you want a simple solution that's guaranteed to work, guys, you need advanced hair, top-rated physicians, modern technology, and your own natural hair begins to regrow the very next day, guaranteed. And if you do schedule your free consultation, you get $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. 469-599-HAIR or advancedhair.com.
Investors, this message is for you. Each week, McGowan Group Wealth Management, ranked one of the best in Texas by Forbes magazine, pulls the most important financial headlines and research to bring you Net Worth Radio. Saturday afternoons at 4, WBAP 820 and 93.3 FM. Get your weekly fast-paced tour of the most important financial news with investment strategy. WBAP Saturdays at 4 and networthradio.com.
President Trump doesn't trust backstabbing rhino Chip Roy because in Washington, Chip Roy defended Liz Cheney and wanted to impeach President Trump.
President of the United States deserves universal condemnation for what was clearly impeachable conduct.
Chip Roy sided with Gavin Newsom and the trans lobby to allow radical transgender surgeries on kids. And Roy told MAGA voters,
"You can kiss my ass."
Chip Roy even helped illegal aliens avoid deportation. Texas deserves Trump ally MAGA Mays Middleton. MAGA Mays defeated the atheists, restoring the 10 Commandments in schools. MAGA Mays stopped radical transgender surgeries on kids, banned men from girls' sports, and kicked perverted men out of girls' restrooms. And MAGA Mays designated drug cartels terrorists and is fighting to stop Sharia law in Texas. That's why President Trump called Mays a MAGA champion with a conservative record that is second to none. Trump ally MAGA Mays Middleton for Texas Attorney General.
Political ad paid for by the Mays Middleton campaign.
Something big is rolling into town. The Dallas RV Super Sale is coming February 19th through the 22nd at Dallas Market Hall. The top RV dealers in Texas: United RV, Vaught RV, National Indoor RV, Holiday World, Blue Compass, and McLean's RV are bringing hundreds of RVs all under one roof. Shop an incredible selection of travel trailers, fifth wheels, motorhomes, and more, all with show season savings you won't find anywhere else. Doors open Thursday from 10 to 6, Friday and Saturday from 10 to 8, and Sunday from 10 to 6. Tickets are just $20 for adults, $10 for kids 6 to 12, and children 5 and under get in free. Plus, seniors 65 and up save on admission Thursday and Friday for just $15. It's the biggest RV shopping event of the year, with unbeatable deals, huge selection, and something for every adventure. Don't miss the Dallas RV Super Sale, February 19th through the 22nd at Dallas Market Hall.
Hey, James Parker here. And if you've been putting off replacing your roof, I want to share who I trust, and that's John Hopkins and his crew over at Blue Ribbon Roofing, a true family-run business that does great work.
Just like you just heard, this is John Hopkins of Blue Ribbon Roofing. I am the owner, and if you'll reach out to us through our website, we'd love to come look at your roof. You'll be dealing with one of the owners, John Hopkins, Tish Hopkins, or Trevor Hopkins. We own and operate this family-owned business for 32 years right here in DFW. We'd love to come meet you. Reach out to us. Our website is blueribbondfw.com. Again, blueribbondfw.com.
The new year's a great time to check all those house projects off your to-do list, and who better to do it with than a company that is local and guarantees the job that they do. They'll even handle the insurance company for you, so all you have to do is call Blue Ribbon and they will take it from there. Get a free inspection done today by going to blueribbondfw.com. blueribbondfw.com.
DFW's News, Talk, Traffic, and Weather Station. News Talk 820 WBAP, Fort Worth, Dallas. 93.3 WBAP FM, Haltom City, Dallas, Fort Worth. And KPLX HD2, Fort Worth, Dallas.
Your Texas voice for common sense. Trending now.
The Pima County Sheriff gives his take on the Nancy Guthrie case. I'm Mike Trena from the 24-hour Breaking News Center.
ClassicChevrolet.com, WBAP's first traffic and weather.
On the ones. It's a little bit slow through Irving with some road work in the right lane. 183 westbound at Story Road, just a couple minutes through there. 20 westbound at 408. They're in the right lane, and that'll hold you up for about 3 to 5 minutes. And then right around the corner, there's a wreck on 408 northbound at Illinois. The left lane's blocked. Move right, you'll be fine. With WBAP First Traffic and Weather on the Ones, I'm Julie Hardy.
Classic Chevrolet in Grapevine, #1 Chevy dealership in the world. 3 years straight. More new Chevrolets to choose from than anyone. All priced to sell at ClassicChevrolet.com. Together, let's drive. Based on new Chevrolet registrations 2023 through 2025.
From the WBAP On-Time Experts 24/7 Weather Center, temperatures remain well above average here today and tomorrow. Afternoon highs well into the 70s to near 80 degrees, and then cooling off for Friday and the upcoming weekend. Mix of clouds and sunshine for us here today. We're into the upper 70s this afternoon. Low 60s tonight. Winds picking up a bit on Thursday. Mix of clouds and sun. Breezy, closing in on 80 tomorrow afternoon. Partly to mostly cloudy skies. Cooler, middle to upper 60s Friday. For WBAP News, I'm meteorologist Ken Boone at the Weather Channel.
It's 70 degrees in Dallas and 69 in Fort Worth. The desperate search for Nancy Guthrie continues as officials try to find new leads to track down the 84-year-old mother of NBC host Savannah Guthrie. Brian Yennis has more from Tucson.
The doorbell video from in front of Nancy Guthrie's home remains the best evidence in this case, at least publicly. Now, Sheriff Chris Nano says they are working with Google to try to retrieve more video from various cameras around Nancy's home, but the prospects of retrieving that video seem bleak. The sheriff also says they're looking into whether the suspect was wearing some kind of ring under his glove, as they also work with Walmart, where they believe the suspect bought his clothes.
The Pima County Sheriff says he believes the case is a kidnapping. Your money news, powered by McGowan Group Wealth Management. Uber is expanding their rideshare services.
Uber Technologies is investing more than $100 million to develop autonomous vehicle charging hubs. It's Uber's latest push to scale up its self-driving service. The move includes the depots where Uber runs day-to-day operations and at pit stops throughout priority cities. Ginny Coselda, Fox News.
Checking Wall Street's latest, the Dow Jones Industrial Average is up 270 points to 49,803. NASDAQ up by 274. S&P 500 in the green by 53. I'm Mike Traina. Keep connected DFW throughout your day on your new home for Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins. News Talk 820 and 93.3 FM WBAP. WBAP salutes Justin. That's Justin. Go to our secret contest page at WBAP.com now for your chance to see the Eagles at the Sphere in Las Vegas. It's for special WBAP listeners just like you.
Breaking news. You never know when it'll happen. Whenever it happens, wherever it happens, you'll hear it here.
Sheriff Chris Nanos tells Fox News they're still hoping to find Nancy Guthrie.
Do you want to give the government back over to the people who frankly burned down the house and made most Americans much less wealthy and much less safe?
Keep connected, DFW.
News Talk 820 WBAP.
And now on FM at 93.3.
Brought to you by the Good Feet Store.
Thanks to the Good Feet Store. Visit the Good Feet Store today. Walk-ins are always welcome. Stop by one of our 8 DFW locations, and we're opening soon in Waxahachie.
Gold demand is skyrocketing to record highs. As more Americans rush to preserve their savings, will there be enough gold? I'm Dr. Ron Paul, and I believe physical gold is the only way to truly protect your 401k or IRA savings. Gold offers tangible security that can't be tracked, stolen, or inflated. That's why I strongly advocate for gold IRAs. To learn more, text the word SECURE to 989898 now. Birch Gold Group will send you a free info kit on gold IRAs. Birch Gold is the only gold company I trust, and their thousands of great reviews prove I'm not alone. So don't wait another second. Protect your retirement savings today and see how easy it is to move your IRA or 401k into physical precious metals. Text SECURE to the number 989898 for your free gold IRA info kit. Again, SECURE to 989898.
Message and data rates may apply.
Come on, Gus. This is the best house in the neighborhood. Let's find an open gap on their roof and get in the attic and have a heyday making thousands of dollars in damage.
Oh, I can't wait. I'll chew on their electrical wires, ruin their insulation, and the homeowners will never know where we came from.
Come on, follow me. Wait a minute. I swear, there used to be an opening here in their roof line yesterday.
Oh, no! The Firehouse Roofing Truck is here!
At Firehouse, we look at thousands of DFW roofs a year, and too often we find perfect entry points for pests. This is why we originated the easiest solution with our attic seal service. Our seal service team is running 20 appointments a day for only $2.99. And it comes with a 24-month no-pest promise, or we'll refund you your money. Call or schedule online today at firehouseroofing.com and say good riddance to those pesky little rodents.
Don't get burned, get a Firehouse roof.
Mayor Armin Mazzani put woke out of business in Keller. Armin helped our trustees clean up our schools. He stood up to drag shows targeting kids and made promoting strong families his top priority. We can trust Armin Mazzani. Vote March 3rd. Radical Islam is on the rise in North Texas, but not in Keller. Mayor Armin Mazzani banned Sharia courts in his city. Now he's running to ban Sharia statewide. American law for American courts only. Vote Armin Mazzani.
Political ad paid for by the Armin Mazzani campaign.
DFW's opinionated talk station. News Talk 820 and 93.3 FM. WBAP's.
Are you ready?
Jamie Markley, David Van Camp, and Scott Robbins.
We just become best friends, yep.
Making sense of it all.
Oh, I get it.
And having some fun.
Lighten up, Francis.
This is the Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins Show.
All right, let's do it. The Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins Show. Jamie Markley, David Van Camp, Scott Robbins. There's always a lot going on. Always a lot going on. David, are you saying the Democratic Party is trying to silence a strong black woman?
They are. They are very racist and misogynistic because of this whole scam with Stephen Colbert, where James Tallarico, he's a Democrat running for Senate, and he is sort of the golden boy for the Democrat Party. They really didn't like that Jasmine Crockett got involved in the Senate race here. She's currently a representative, and she has become surprisingly competitive. So on the eve of the first day of early voting in Texas, what they went out and did was he appeared on Stephen Colbert's show, and then they claimed that the FCC pressured CBS into pulling the interview. Now, what happened in reality is CBS, rightfully, the lawyers said, hey, you know what, with equal time being what it is, because if it's a campaign event, and generally speaking, entertainment shows, talk shows have been exempt from this, or they look the other way on this. However, the FCC has said we're not doing that anymore. And so